The scene then shifts back to the past, where we see Jin bursting into one of the rooms with his gun in hand. Inside, he finds this lady protecting a girl. Jin doesn't open fire immediately, but his transmission tells him to eliminate the target and return to base immediately. The girl in the ponytail's arms trembles in fear, and that is when Jin hears someone calling, and he finds himself jolting awake from this unpleasant dream. He quickly sits down over his bed, and he can literally feel his pulse pound. He then starts hearing the clattering of dishes from the living room. He heads outside and finds Yeona and Grandpa there. The old man looks at him and asks why he's up when he should still be resting. Jin replies that it's time for him to get back to school. Grandpa insists that resting and getting better is more important right now than worrying about his studies. Yeona then also gestures to him quietly from behind to just do as the grandpa is saying. And without a doubt, Jin agrees with his old man with a pleasant smile. Before heading out, the old man mentions that he'll be home late tonight because his colleague, Mr. Lee, isn't feeling well, so he's covering his shift. Jin then asks Daeun why she's leaving so early. She replies that she got up early and plans to study a bit before school starts. As usual, she reminds him that breakfast is on the table, so he better eat up. Jin gives her a quick smile, and she quietly heads out, leaving behind a delicious spread of food for him. Later, we find ourselves outside, and as Jin strolls down the street, his phone rings with a notification, and it's Jae-hyung texting, urging him to make his comeback to the team as soon as possible. Just then, Yeona also joins the chat and tells Jae-hyung to count her in as well, but Jae-hyung brutally turns her down, saying she should start practicing with bots first. Just as Jin smiles at the lively banter between his friends, we see 032 walking down the other side of the road. Our boy's smile fades when he spots him, and he is sure that something about the figure seems familiar. He quickly dashes toward the guy, but 032 slips into a back alley. Jin picks up his pace and dives into the alley after him. Once inside, he can't spot the guy in his sight. He follows the path further and ends up at a construction site. After climbing up one of the buildings, he scans the area and soon spots his old friend, who's now holding a gun and aiming right at him. Femboy doesn't hesitate and opens fire, sending a barrage of bullets toward him. But our boy quickly dives behind a nearby wall for cover, while his previous injuries are still hurting. Femboy starts walking toward our boy, and he can't help but remark about how long it's been since they last met. Earlier, he admits that he was a bit startled to see someone trailing him, but he's even more surprised when he found out that it was our boy. That is when it finally hits Jin that this dude is 032. The hoodie guy keeps walking forward and points out that he already knows 006's habits, so it's no surprise to him that our boy is still alive. He finds it fascinating that he did not have to look around to find our boy. Jin then asks if the camp sent him to eliminate him, but this question just goes above the femboy's head, and he has no idea what Jin is talking about. Jin, on the other hand, already knows that the camp would never send anyone to finish the job which 006 failed to complete. But the femboy just tells our boy to shut the hell up since he's not their leader anymore. Despite this, Jin keeps pressing for more info, asking if the camp didn't send him. Then he must have run out from the camp without anyone's permission. Femboy simply responds that none of this should matter to a traitor like him. He claims that he doesn't want to hold any resentment towards our boy, but his circumstances are forcing him to do so. But he does mention that 006 was his only family, the only person who looked out for him in that hellish camp. While 032 is rambling on with his sentimental talk, Jin quickly throws a metal projectile at him, hitting the gun in 032's hands. Distracted, 032 loses focus, allowing Jin to jump over him, and they both crash to the ground. 032 quickly tries to break free and aims the gun right at Jin's face, but Jin reacts fast, kicking 032's hand and sending the gun flying. Not missing a beat, 032 pulls a dagger out and tries to slash Jin with it. Their back and forth is so quick that it's hard to follow, but eventually Jin grabs 032's hand, balls up his fist, and lands a punch on his face. But 032 blocks the punch with hands and retaliates with a kick, hitting Jin right where he's already injured. Our boy asks if 032 has reported everything to the camp, but 032 dodges the question, asking since when Jin became so talkative. He reminds Jin that he's no longer their leader, so he doesn't have to answer him. Right now, Jin is just a target. After those words, he pushes Jin back and swings his dagger at him. When they both take a step back, it's clear that Jin has been cut across his belly.